Hey guys, November 1 Sierra here, and today we're going to be going over the G&G CMF-16, which simply put is just a 416 with a replica Geisley rail on it. So we're going to kind of hop into it and see, is it worth $307? Let's hop in. So originally I saw this gun back in February pop up on Airsoft GI on pre-order with the price tag of $279 at the time being. When it finally came into stock around March, I immediately ordered it, except the price tag was now around $307. Not being able to get my hands on a VFC 416A5 because they were out of stock everywhere, and saving about $200 on the price tag, what wasn't there to like? There didn't seem to be any reviews on the gun, no solid articles written about the gun, and the description on Airsoft GI, well, was far from informational. It did strike me worrying that there was a combat machine trademark on the side of the gun, but I figured what the hell could possibly be the worst that could happen? I can just upgrade it. My only fear was the combat machine gearbox. They're not bad. They're not super great either. But what had they done to this gearbox to make it stand out in G&G to be worth $307? So of course, obviously when you order a gun, it gets shipped to you, and when I got home, it was at my front door. And like a little kid, I grabbed it, I ran to my room, ripped open the shipping box that it came in, and there it was, a G&G airsoft box with the picture of the CMF-16. So I opened that box carefully just in case there's anything wrong with it. Gotta keep it for warranty. And when I opened the box, I was a bit disappointed, and I want to tell you why there was such disappointment when I opened the box. Well, simply put, it was a gun in a magazine. That's it. Oh, and a couple brochures that tell you how to basically use the gun, and hey, here's some more guns that you can buy from us. There was no unjamming rod, there was no iron sights, there was nothing, just a high cap and a gun, which I should have expected since that was what's on the website. But I was disappointed as not even an unjamming rod, not even an iron sight. I mean, this is as bare as it gets. Okay, but that's not a deal breaker by any means. So of course, picking the gun up, I noticed everything about it is polymer. Almost everything is polymer, except your outer barrel, your buffer tube, and the dust cover. But should this really deter you from this gun? The bare box, the hardly any metal pieces, should that really deter you from this gun? So I handed the gun over to one of our techs and I said, hey, tell me, is this really just a combat machine, a version 2 with just some little soup up parts in it like the rotary hop up, the MOSFET in the back, which has no information to it whatsoever. At one point the gun actually just started chirping at me and I couldn't figure out why. I unplugged the battery, plugged another battery in, never did it again. And when he got back to me, I was told essentially, yes, it's a combat machine in a 416 body. And I was like, well, that's kind of a bummer. I know I said I would upgrade this, but $307 for a combat machine internals. I feel like the other $150, $160 is just because of the polymer body. And I know what you guys are thinking. I'm just bashing on the gun at this point. I'm just really bummed out, even though I know what I was getting into. But the point is is we tend to forget there was a line out there that G&G might still possibly have out there, but I haven't seen in a while. But it was called Top Tech. And they had a TR4-18, which was essentially a 416. And the Top Tech internals were amazing. I remember when people would just sell Top Tech internals because they just wanted to drop them in different guns and use the Top Tech internals. So the price tag of $307, and then you have a Top Tech gun with outstanding internals for $380. You kind of start to see, like, why was this $307 and why was this gun that was so damn good $380? So yeah, I do feel like this was a combat machine put into the shell of a 416, and it was simply sold on the basis of a 416. And the greatest part about the Top Tech TR418 is that it was full metal. $307, not including tax. And then $380, you're only looking at about an $80 difference at most with taxes for a full metal gun that had great internals. I mean, this is like, unfortunately to put, taking a Honda, souping it up and saying, hey, it costs a little less than this souped up Mercedes. In a sense, you get where I'm at with that. So you can see where being bummed kind of makes sense. Now, let's not just focus negative. Let's start thinking positive. And that's exactly what I did. So back in the day, G&G came out with this gun called the CM18 Mod 1, which was essentially an MK18 Mod 1 made by G&G. And it basically had a combat machine, internals in it, for $224. And thinking back on that gun, that was one of the best guns I ever had. The thing was made out of full polymer. That thing lasted me 3 years before it finally kicked the bucket. So maybe with this combat machine gearbox, with the little upgrades they have, like the rotary hop up, the MOSFET inside of it, maybe this gun will last. I tend to use my guns right out of the box, wait till they break down, then I do the upgrades. So maybe this gun won't be so. I mean, this gun straight out of the box shoots around 380 to 400 FPS with .20s, so it's perfect. Right in that 365 range for ops. It shoots decently, it's got great range, it's accurate as hell. It can accept other 416 rails, so even though the rail is polymer, I could change it out for a full metal one. I mean, after all, people do buy $700 Tokyo Maruis, still dump another 200 plus worth of upgrades into them, so maybe for this price, for a 416, since there's not many competitors out there, maybe this isn't so bad. It has the style of a modern 416 with the M-LOK rails on it. The polymer is actually pretty durable. Now with that being said, don't go throwing it into a wall and smacking it on the ground. The flash hider comes off super easy, as for once a company didn't use a metal pin, but a plastic pin, which was simple enough to just drill out. Also, when you pull back on the charging handle, it exposes your hop-up, which can be simply covered up with the bolt release button. So, that's a little nifty feature. Now that we've gone through all the negative, the roller coaster ride, why don't we just break it down into the pros and the cons? So let's start with the pros. Let's start with the positives. It's lightweight. Super light, it's like a feather. Compared to my MCX, this thing is light. The flash hider comes off super easily. It's actually sturdy, has no wobble. Versus other 416s out there, it's not bad of a price. It accepts other 416 rails, has ambidextrous features, a rotary hop-up, a bolt release function, a MOSFET, great range and accuracy. So maybe after all, this gun isn't too bad. Now let's move to the cons. There's no spring quick change system in the gun. Let's be honest, the internals are kind of mediocre for a gun of this price range. Completely polymer on the outside. Granted, it is sturdy, but maybe even a metal rail? And I think there could have been more in the box. A magazine, a high cap, which a lot of people don't use, and then the gun seems a little bare to me. I mean, a jamming rod, maybe a little tool to help get the rail off if you did want to change it, some iron sights, not even a pack of BBs was in there. So it just seemed a little bare for the price as well. So yeah, while the CMF-16 does have its good looks, nifty little features, and semi-decent FPS, it's just a combat machine in a 416 body. But hey, combat machines are kind of like the Hondas of airsoft. You can run them into the ground, beat the crap out of them, abuse the internals, and somehow we all know someone who has one or in the end still does. And somehow it's still operational. So, if you're looking for an inexpensive 416 and are not afraid to upgrade it later down the line, then yeah, this 416 is for you. It still has the looks of a 416 with a Geisley rail. It just doesn't have the HK logos or any fancy trademarks. So hardcore reenactors and milsimmers out there that need those HK trademarks and the Geisley trademarks, sorry, you're out of luck. Now again, this is all my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. Do I feel like this was a fair purchase? Actually, in the end, yeah. G&G was smart. They saw that there was middle ground for a 416 to come in and kind of swipe away. And what I mean by that is, you look at a JG and AGM 416s. They're about the 180 range. Well, the JG is plastic, the AGM is full metal, but both of them don't accept other 416 rails. Well, there's nothing in between that. So you jump all the way to VFC. You jump up to Tokyo Marui. Now you're talking $500. You're talking $800. So G&G was smart. They saw a void in the market for a decent 416 to fit in the middle, and they capitalized on it. It was a good business move. So in the end, if you do want a 416 that looks decent, looks cool, accepts other 416 rails, yeah, I honestly think this 416 is going to be a really good gun in the end. And I hope to see it out more. Again, I gotta add to this, G&G, if you're gonna do this to a gun, please take the CM trademarks off the side. They are just bulky and it's just really unattractive. Otherwise, the gun's great. So yeah, guys, I think this 416 was a good purchase. Again, all this is my opinion. Everyone else is going to have their own. And we're going to end this off by saying thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful in you making a choice of whether you want to buy this gun or not. I will post a link of this gun to multiple stores where you can buy it. Until next time, November 1 Sierra out.